Michael, and thanks very much for your time. Well, we know the fact that people have not been paying, and that one would imagine is affecting what is supposed to be phase 2 of the freeway improvement project.
Yeah, phase 2 is supposed to have been rolled out. It's been put on hold because SANRAL has no money. It's about 185 kilometers of road. The GFIP, as it's known, Gauteng Freeway Improvement Project, is sort of a three-stage, three-phase project. Phase 1 is complete. Those beautiful things you see that look like Hardy-Dar sitting on a pole, the gantries, that is phase 1 of, it's about 200 odd kilometers of urban tolled roads, and it forms part of GFIP. E-tolling is just the funding mechanism through which they collect the money, or don't in this case. They have a compliance level of, depending on what you read, but getting it from the CEO today, of ETC. He said they have a compliance level of about 30% when they were banking on 90% for it to be successful. And these, if you look at the costs, a lot has been made of the fact that their collection costs just ETC are incredibly high. Last year's financials show that they were paid to collect 726 million rand that came in toll collections. They were paid 643 million rand for collecting it. So it's the vast majority of the money that is being collected from this tolling system
goes to paying for collection.
Goes to ETC. So it's unsustainable. He said as much. It's completely unsustainable at the moment. SANRAL 2 years ago wrote off 3.6 billion rand in lost e-toll debt. They're currently sitting, Kimi Mokwetu, the Auditor General, said that they're sitting with a funding hole, SANRAL now, of 6 billion rand that should have come from tolling fees coming in. So but the problem here is ETC has now gone. Initially, there was the carrot-stick approach. The carrot is you're deriving increased benefit from a road network that is supposed to be world-class, that there's a lot of investment that is now flowing into areas that are neighboring off-ramps. They said 16 billion rand has gone into the Allendale Midrand area, just around that new off-ramp. And they're saying that there's significant 100 billion rand in the Linwood, Pretoria area, just from this new GFIP process, the phase 1 being complete. Only problem is, are we paying for it? And if we're not, how are we going to pay for it?
Now, we have heard the finance minister taking a bit of a hard line, being tough, talking tough, saying that we've got to pay for that. Now, has there been any, or was there any indication today as to whether there might be something brewing or happening behind the scenes which may just, change the situation?
Well, look, in the last couple of months, what have we had? Political parties are seeing this as an opportunity.
We have an election in 5 months' time.
Exactly. I mean, it's easy pickings for any political party in Gauteng. You had the ANC kind of marching on the ANC, since it's the ANC government that introduced this tolling mechanism. Then yesterday you had the Democratic Alliance marching to Premier Makura's offices and saying that he needs to, it was an ANC resolution that said we are going to scrap e-tolls here. But the problem is you can make as many resolutions as you want as Gauteng ANC or as the DA, wherever. This is a prerogative of the National Department of Transport, which, of course, a decision which Blade Nzimande will have to make at some stage, if he's going to make it at all. When he spoke in Parliament on the 8th of November, it was no decision taken yet to scrap e-tolls. That was reiterated today by a colleague of his from the Department of Transport, Mr. Mapakela, saying where we are right now, the user pays principle stands.
But now, with the pressure that the ANC in Gauteng is putting on its national leadership, with the desperation that the ANC has to actually hold on to power, it looks very much unlikely that this is something they'll take a tough stance on. So for the next 6 months at least, it looks like we're going to get stuck exactly where we are. Now, what does that mean? From what those academics, the Transport Department, the electronic toll collection, from their discussions today, what's the likely scenario? Or what are the likely scenarios? And more specifically, what does that mean for phase 2?
We're tied into a contract with ETC. On the 700 million that's collected odd, they're taking 643 million. That means that there's less than 100 million for SANRAL to then pay the debts off. This GFA project, phase 1, cost 20 billion rand, give or take. So SANRAL is being forced to go to market now to try and find an additional 600 million because it can no longer fund its capital projects, repairs and maintenance of the other roads.
But who's going to give them that if they aren't able to get the people to pay for it?
In June 2018, Moody's downgraded them to 2 notches below investment grade. So they're going with hat in hand with the ratings agencies saying these are not people you should be giving money to. But what are the alternatives? It's already been built. Contracts are already in place with ETC to collect this money on our behalf, on SANRAL's behalf. I just confirmed with the CEO of ETC that SANRAL has extended. They came in with a 5-year contract. There's an 8-year and a 5-year contract, but to run the system and collect the money, it was a 5-year contract that expired in December 2018. So a lot of organizations are out to us to say we need to put pressure on SANRAL not to renew this particular type of contract. That is not going to happen. It has been extended. SANRAL took that option. It's been extended by a year until at least December 2019. So ETC, with these costs of collection, will be there for the moment. They discussed ring-fencing money from the fuel tax. There is an exorbitant amount of money that is required to look nationally now at just how to maintain our roads. 2 trillion rand is needed to maintain our roads, and that's a 2013 figure. So add maybe a couple more zeros. That's what economist Mike Schlister says, where the fuel tax, fuel levy at the moment is at 3 rand 80 something. They would have to, if you wanted to pay off 2 trillion rand, over 10 years, it's 200 billion rand a year, you'd have to increase the fuel levy to 9 rand. So South Africans will have to bite down hard on that. So there are funding options, but just not at the moment. And all that SANRAL and ETC especially is pleading for is policy certainty. You can't have local politicians saying something while national politicians are saying something else. Motorists sitting in between going, well, we don't know what to do. We're going to continue not paying for the moment.
A situation that's unlikely to be resolved any time soon.